You're listening to Real Talk with Waz. I'm very excited to have you. Enjoy this episode. Thank you for coming on, Salah. This is gonna be a good one. I got a feeling.
I'm excited for it, dude. I'm excited.
So let's start with you just telling people what you do, what you got going on, and then we'll dive into it.
Yeah, man. So I'm a real estate agent. Been a real estate agent since late 2017. Early 2018 was my first full calendar year. I got into the business right out of high school. So I graduated in June. I got my license in October. And I want to say I started going like full time maybe like April of 2018. So I've been doing it for a long time.
That is a long time.
Yeah, dude.
You're more seasoned than me.
Someone will ask me how long you been doing it, and it feels weird. I'll be like, dude, almost 7 years. And then when you tell someone 7 years, immediate questions like, well, how old are you?
Yeah,
I'm 24. Like, I'm not.
They're like, are you lying to me?
Yeah, they're like, the math doesn't make sense there.
But one thing that I genuinely respect about you is you were hustling at such a young age.
Yeah.
And I would love for you to talk about that a little bit, because when you were first starting, like I remember I heard you were doing all the cold calling and stuff, and that got me motivated, you know?
Yeah, for sure. So like I started working really hard even before like getting into real estate. Like when I was like, my friend group that I grew up with knows me as the kid that like just always worked. Like when I was in my senior year of high school, I'd leave school at 12 o'clock every single day, like Monday through Friday. I never stayed past 12.
Yeah.
I worked at convenience stores. I worked at fast food places. I worked at Dunks, and I would just work 12 p.m. to 10 p.m. every day, like during high school. Got out of high school, worked like that still. I had a weekend job at this convenience store under the table. It was like a family friend that owned it. I would work 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. every Saturday and Sunday.
Damn.
This was like during like my senior year of high school.
Okay.
So like I had like this ambition to like make money and do well and save, and I didn't really have like a plan at that time where I was like, I'm going to become an agent, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that. My plan at that time was just work, save, and figure it out. And then, eventually someone, at one of the jobs I was working at was like, you should become a real estate agent. I was like, that sounds like a better idea than what I got going on right now. So I did. I took my test, got my license. And when I got into it, met this one dude who killed it in my office. He just cold called every day. Like his schedule was, okay, go to the office at 8 a.m. every day, cold call for 4 hours, go on appointments that he got from the days prior, come back, upload listings, come back the next day, do it again, cold call all day. So I was like, dude, I want to copy that guy. So like the first, I want to say up to like year 3, that's all I did. I cold called every single day to get listings. Wow. And first year I listed 27. I didn't sell all 27. A lot of them expired because I would just take any listing I could get.
You had 27 listings your first year.
Yeah, I listed 27 the first year. I didn't sell them all, but
but still, that's impressive.
Yeah. So I like saw the success in it. So I was like, okay, like, I'm not gonna stop doing this, and that was my thing.
That's crazy that you were working that many jobs or working that late in high school, because I feel like a lot of the people I know weren't busting their ass that much, at least.
Yeah, dude. My friend group saw me as like, it was like weird, like it wasn't common, and I missed out.
So why were you like that? What was driving you to be a workaholic at that point of your life?
So the ambition to work came from that, seeing mom work all the time. So when I got older and, I was about to graduate, I knew I wasn't going to go to college. So like, let me just work as much as I can, make as much as I can to like save and put myself in a good spot for down the road.
Yeah.
And I think, definitely like just what made me want to do that was just seeing mom early on was like, damn, dude, like if I don't figure this money thing out, it's going to be tough for years to come. And I don't want it to be that way.
Yeah. I can relate to that. I mean, I saw my mom was a single mom, and she had to work her ass off to provide for 4 kids,
Right.
So it's definitely tough to see that. And it's like we've almost learned from them, in both good and bad ways,
Exactly.
It's like you learn what not to do and what to do.
Right.
All at once.
100%.
Yeah. Which 100%. It's cool though.
Yeah. I mean, there's like you said, there's good in it.
Yeah, there is. And, if if she wasn't a hard worker, you probably wouldn't be cold calling for your first 3 years, you know?
No, dude, I probably wouldn't have even been working that time. I would have just been bullshitting with my friends and
Probably would
playing
have still been at the
basketball.
corner store. Who knows?
Honestly, probably. 'Cause
You know?
I'll tell you what, and maybe you agree with this. It's this pursuit thing of like trying to do well and trying to succeed. It's not easy and it's not fun. And
It's
sometimes like I'll reflect back and I'm like, dude, when I was at Dunks or I was at Mickey D's and I was just pouring coffee in a cup, get paid, take my tips, and then I have the rest of the day to just do whatever. That was a good time. Like that was it was free. Like when I have stressful moments now, I'm like, that was pretty chilling back in the day. But obviously I'd never want to go back to that. But yeah.
But it's funny to think you were stressing probably back then too. You're
Yeah.
like the things you stressed about then were like nothing compared to what we stress about now in that constant pursuit.
Absolutely not.
And it's so tough because we don't have the off switch.
Exactly.
And it's, we picked the poison and now we just got to deal with it.
Live with it. Exactly.
Yeah. But there's pros and cons to it.
Exactly.
That's just one of the cons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very well.
But cold calling that much is crazy to me. I've been trying to get more into it, but like I'm curious, who was your mentor that was teaching you? Was he like telling you what to say on those cold calls, or were you kind of just winging it?
It was honestly like such a blessing. Have you ever met Ian Handel?
I've came across him. I haven't met him though.
It was Ian Handel.
Yeah.
Ian Handel used to work at Keller Williams. And
Okay.
still to this day, I love Ian. Like I talked to him like a month ago. And like super generous. Sometimes in this business, not everybody wants to share what they do or what they know. This guy saw me, I was 18, and he was like, he saw that I was like going in the office all the time, like asking people questions. Hey, what should I do? Like, what are you doing? Can I do an open house? And one day I was talking to another agent. They were telling me to do some stuff and wasn't like the best stuff that an agent should probably spend their time on. And he pulled me aside. He was like, don't do that. Like, waste of time. He was like, if you want to sell houses and like do well, like you got to go direct to the consumer, like talk to a buyer, talk to a seller every day. He was like, come sit with me in my office and like listen to me call. I was like, okay. Literally sat there, just listened to him rip through calls. He showed me like the service to use to get phone numbers. He showed me what expireds were, what for sale by owners were, showed me scripts. And, at some point he was like, just call them. Like, here, pull it up on your computer. Here's the same exact thing I'm doing. Call them. And we would just sit in that room every day for hours and call. And I 100% would say if I did not meet him early on, I probably would not have stayed in the business. If I did not learn his approach, the way he did it, I wouldn't have been able to do it. Because for me, cold calling was, I would just sit there, you sit in a room and you call people. Like at that time, there was a lot more expireds than there are now. So there was always a huge list every morning. Just call every single one by one. Hey, my name's Salah. Do you want to sell your house? Can I help? It came off the market. Are you still interested in selling it? No. Eventually someone says, yeah. Oh, okay, awesome. Can I come and meet you and show you what I could do? Yeah, sure. Go on a few appointments. Some say yes, some say no. But it was just like a numbers game.
Yeah.
So I could just sit there and say, I know for sure if I sit here all day and I call somebody, I'm one step closer to a listing, one step closer to a check.
So you feel like that's kind of died down with cold calling?
100%.
I feel like it's kind of coming back though.
Maybe definitely not for expirers and for sale by owners.
Yeah, no.
Because there's like houses don't expire now. Everything typically sells. And if it doesn't sell, it's because it's subject to finding suitable housing and or it's like an interest rate problem. But like as far as a house not selling because it's overpriced or the condition of it is very rare.
Yeah.
So the expireds aren't the same. And for sale by owners, what's tough with them, and it's been tough with for sale by owners for like the last 2 or 3 years, when they go on, they typically sell on their own. There's some who actually need the help and just can't do it. So, but not as much as what it used to be before.
Yeah.
Before, for sale by owner would stay on the market 60, 90 days, and they'd almost be forced to, hey, you got to work with an agent.
Yeah. Some of them are still there, I think, because there was a kid in my office, he got one.
Really?
Yeah, for sale by owner. The newer kids have been hammering cold calls, and I respect it.
It's honestly like I think the lowest hanging fruit in the business.
Yeah, because if you don't want to spend the money on leads to put into the business to get, business, you got to do that. You got to do the stuff that others don't want to do.
Exactly.
But like once you get further down, you can start, I guess, paying for the hand raisers and call those ones instead of the really cold ones.
Right. It's a good model to follow.
But But yeah, that's crazy. So were you like making contact with people like during the day when they're working, or
Yeah.
was it like always really?
Dude, during the day, people and like there was always this question when people would cold call is what's the best time to call? Any time of the day. Like if they
Yeah.
didn't answer in the morning, they would be put on an afternoon list to call them in the afternoon. If they didn't
Oh,
answer in the
okay.
afternoon, we'll call them in the evening. Like someone would the amount of times, dude, like complete stranger has blocked my number
Yeah.
is like insane. Because I would call people a lot until they answered, and if they answered and they just like hung up, didn't say anything, I would call them again
Right away.
right away,
Yeah.
right away.
I've done that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be like, hey, did we
Yeah.
get disconnected?
Yeah.
So
Hey, I
yeah,
think I lost you.
yeah, I think I lost you there. And I was like, no, I hung up on you, buddy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I just call any time of the day. If they didn't answer at this time, I know to call them at a later time.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Yeah, but it was made a fun environment. Like with that mentor, like we just if I was by myself sitting in an office doing it, I probably would have got bored early on. But it was cool. You have someone to bounce ideas with. You're shooting shit with someone in between. So
I think it's important to find someone like that out the gate,
yes,
especially when you're first starting. I know when I started, it was kind of a slower start. One, because I was still in school for engineering, so I was kind of like half in, half out still.
right.
And there was really no one around me doing stuff like that. There wasn't as many young realtors when I was starting, it felt like, at least where I was. And I would just go to like the coaching classes and then
Yeah.
call it a day.
Right.
It's like, oh, I learned today. And then I
Right.
would fill my CRM. When I first started, I was like a CRM monster.
Yeah.
I put everyone I possibly knew in that. And it was crazy. As a new agent, I had 500 people in there.
Yeah, but to this day, that's still like the best first step to do, probably.
CRM?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because that's your moat,
Mhm.
your people.
Unfortunately, I lost that CRM when I transferred, though.
Actually,
Yeah.
company kept it.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. I didn't really think
What
about
company
it.
was it?
I don't want to put them on
Okay.
blast.
Big one though was like
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
okay.
I didn't really think about it. Like I should have downloaded it before I lost everything.
Yeah,
But I was like, all right, we're starting from scratch.
yeah. Well, look at you now, dude. Fucking
Yeah.
screw them.
Yeah,
You
screw
need that
them.
CRM anyway.
Now I got plenty in there.
Yeah.
I'm well over 500. So it's like, I got the systems going where it just fills itself now.
Nice.
Yeah. But I think that is a perfect example of finding a mentor from the jump.
Right.
And a lot of like the new realtors or entrepreneurs or anything could benefit from that. Now, what made you choose real estate?
Dude, it was literally just by chance. This guy at
It
a
was
drive-through. Yeah, came
Yeah.
through the drive-through, drove a sick car, and I was like, "Hey man, what do you do for work?" He's a real estate agent still now. His name's Paul Analoro. I'm name dropping
Okay.
people because I'm
Yeah.
cool with them. That's
Yeah.
why. And I was like, "Hey man, what do you do?" He was like, "I'm a real estate agent." And like I chopped out. He would come get coffee all the time at Dunkin' Donuts every day, and I would talk to him every day. And at one point, he was like, "You should become a real estate agent." And I don't know how. It was like almost like a divine thing. He left. I was like, yeah, I'll look into it. He left. I remember during my shift looked up real estate school near me in Haverhill. And there was one right by downtown Haverhill, 5 minutes away from where I worked. I was like, okay, let's go sign up.
That's awesome.
And I was at
Yeah, just chopping it up at Dunkin's.
John up at Dunkin's, dude. You wake up tomorrow, you never know like who you bump into, what they say to you, and how it changes your path.
Yeah. That's the cool thing about this industry too, is you run into different people all the time.
Right.
And it's crazy, but that's awesome. So I like to do a portion of this where I pick 3 words that describe the guest,
Okay.
just based off of like my view of you,
Cool.
because I feel like it gives you perspective. But then I also like to hear 3 words that you would describe yourself with before.
Okay.
See if we kind of match.
Cool. So do I go first?
Yeah, you go first.
3 words that describe myself.
Yeah.
I think I'm definitely it's almost like it's a hard thing to think about. It's not something I think about often. I'm an anxious person, that's for sure.
Okay.
I think I'm a what's the word I'm looking for? It's one that perseveres often. Perspicacious, is that the word that
Perspicacious.
I think that's the word.
It might be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Meaning that throughout life, I've like when I found myself in tough situations, has never been an option to just be like, all right, screw this, I'm done, I quit.
Mm-hmm.
So like I think that
You're committed.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
one thing like I would pat myself on the back for. So anxious, perspicacious, and I don't know, dude. I like to think I'm like just a friendly person. Like I talk to anybody, I can relate to anybody from all walks of life. Like I
Mhm.
genuinely enjoy talking to people and like learning about people. Like it doesn't just have to be someone that's successful. Like I can just see some random dude at a grocery store and shoot the shit with them for 30 minutes if they have something to say, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess those are the three
That's
things that would
cool.
use to describe me.
Yeah, I mean, I think you are a genuine person, and you're very friendly, easy to talk to. So one of my words was genuine. I said self-aware because I feel like your self-awareness, like it's obvious. Like you know where you're at, you know what you need to do, you know the people around you, the people you want around you, and not everyone is as aware of that. And I feel like you got that down pat. And then I put ambitious because I know you've always been ambitious. You were hustling since you were 18, like, and that takes commitment, dude. That's not easy.
I appreciate that, dog. Yeah, I mean, it's cool to see. Well, obviously, you don't always think, okay, what does someone else see? So that's a cool way to.
I like doing it because honestly, I like hearing feedback from other people.
Right.
Because I am not good at patting myself on the back or saying like, you know, you really shouldn't be doing that. You know, like sometimes I'm just like, you know, you're going through the motions and you don't think about that stuff.
Right.
Like you said, it's hard to think about it because you don't think about it a lot. But I feel like more people need to.
100%. And it's almost like it's a thing in our real estate crowd. And you have a lot of young people at your office. I work at more of a little bit of a jaded office where they're older folks. But there's a lot of, and you're a perfect example of it, of a young person who does really well. And there's so many people out there who are in our age range, younger and older, probably more so older people, who would look at us and say, what they're doing is sick. I wish I could do that. But we in first person don't realize it as often and like are more self-critical and always pushing forward to what could be better, what could be next, what could I do more? Like, so I think that's in our industry. It's part of being like an ambitious person. But yeah, you're one of those people who are young in our industry that do amazing. And you probably fall victim to that same thing that we all do of like, I want to do more.
100%. Like you're not doing enough.
Right.
But
know? In reality, outside looking in, and it might be, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing to look at it this way. There's a lot of folks who would wish to like be in that spot.
I mean, I don't think it's a good or bad thing. It's kind of just like,
reality.
Yeah, it's reality, you know?
Right.
And yeah, it's nice to think about that stuff, but it's that pursuit that you said. I think that's why we tend to think we're not there yet.
Exactly.
You're constantly leveling up, trying to level up.
Exactly.
You know, it's like, I bet when you were 18, you're like 6 figures was something, but now it's like, dude, how do I make more than that?
Yeah.
You know,
when I don't do, you know what they say? The hardest thing to get to, I don't know where I heard this from, but it's like going from zero, like you open a checking account one day and like not everybody, you know, some folks come from a place where the day they open their checking account, they have a nice, you know, influx coming in there from, you know, family or whatever, relatives, like that. Some people are fortunate that, no knock on it. But there's some who like you open it and you have zero. Like you start literally from zero. You don't have a wealthy person that's in the family or a rich uncle or rich aunt that's going to help you through something. Like you got to really build that up. So going from 0 to 100,000 is like the hardest journey in like the financial pursuit is what they say. And I believe that to be true. But then it also feels equally as hard as when you getting to 100,000, your next big number is a mil. And that journey feels equally the same. But the 0 to 100,000 is challenging.
I think so too.
Because you have to break these mental barriers. Like the way that you think completely changes. The way that you are, the way that you act has to completely change from 0 to 100,000. From 100,000 to a million, yeah, you still have to change. But there's some things or habits that you picked up.
You almost have the core values to get you to that next level. But when you were first starting, you didn't.
You'd have nothing.
Yeah.
Like you are literally have to remake yourself. Because you're at 0. When you get to 25, you're like, holy shit, this could be it. Like I'm good right now. Or you get to 50 or 75, you're like, this is real nice. Like I was at 0 at one point. So to keep doing like the good stuff all the way up to 100 is tough.
Yeah.
So once you get there, like you have that core value, like you said, you still have to change more probably to get to the mill, but you have this now foundation set.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah. Because I mean, it does take you a while to get to that marker.
From scratch?
Especially from scratch.
For sure.
You know, but people, you know, it all comes down to mindset. Like you got to have the right mindset, the right values to get you to that point.
Right.
Because I don't know. It's funny. Like when I was 18, I was kind of thinking like, oh yeah, maybe one day, but I was just like starting it. Like I
Right.
feel like my wheels were just turning when I was 18. I was like, I'm gonna invest in real estate. That
Right.
was when it first started for me. It was around that
Did you
age.
have that in your mind right at that age?
Yeah,
No shit.
dude. I was watching YouTube. I was listening to podcasts. I was on bigger pockets pretty early, like just listening. I was grinding, listening to almost every episode.
No shit.
And that was my freshman year of college. No, that was like senior year of high school.
Any particular reason? Were you like
Um,
real estate, like that came into your mind?
so there was a YouTuber specifically that I watched, Meet Kevin. I don't know if you've heard
Yeah,
of him.
dude, love
Yeah.
me, Kevin. He does stocks and
Yeah,
all that
stocks. So I originally found him because of stocks, right?
stuff. Yeah.
And I was investing in stocks in high school because that was like I was like, oh, this is cool.
All right.
Make a little bit of money, learn about stocks. And it's what the rich people are doing. Then you
Right.
learn that the rich people are also buying real estate. So I was like, okay, that got my wheels turning, and I really liked that. And I was like, I knew I was going to go to school still to be an engineer. I'm like, what if I was selling houses on the side
Right.
and then buying houses on the side? Like that would be sick.
right.
And then I was like, once I went through college, I was like, I don't know. Like I wasn't really feeling it. Like the engineering thing. I'm like, I think I just need to go all in.
right.
So like I worked for a couple years after college as an engineer to get the feel for it, stash my money.
Right.
And then once I bought the first property, it was all or nothing.
You went all in after
All
you bought-
in.
That's
Yeah.
ballsy.
It is.
Because typically when someone buys buys an investment property like this, it's like you almost want this sense of security, which probably what you would have gotten at the other job.
Mhm.
But you going, you know what, screw that. I'm just gonna go all in on real estate sales. That was the ballsy move to make.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because your finances are all screwed up after that.
Exactly.
I almost felt like it wasn't ballsy at the same time though, because I had enough money for the down payment, obviously, and then a little bit of change. But I was doing business on the side. Like as a part-time agent, I was doing at least 5 deals a year. I'm like,
Which is more than some full-time agents.
yeah. So I'm like, I can do this. I was seeing it. I'm like, I could do this.
right.
And as soon as I went full time though, I didn't even look back. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do this. 20 deals,
No shit.
So
yeah.
it's like it didn't feel ballsy because I knew I could do it.
Yeah, well, dude, it was.
Yeah.
Ballsy, and that's sick that it panned out that way. It goes to show, like you're when you don't think anything negative and all you're thinking about is it's gonna work.
Mm-hmm.
It works.
Yeah.
Your mind probably wasn't fixated on shit. This could be bad. It was fixated on I'm just gonna get it done. I'm gonna make it happen.
Yo, literally, when I got this opportunity for this house, I was like, I just have to make it work.
Right.
I'm like, I'm not passing up on this. This is it.
Right.
And that was another reason. Like, I got such a great deal on it. I was like, I got the cushion. I can do this.
Right. You can't afford not to do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And
sick, dude.
I'll never regret that. Like buying a house was the best thing I ever did.
For
Especially
sure.
a 3-fam,
For sure.
Yeah.
It's something that carries on like forever. Like how I've looked at the property thing is no matter how long it sets you up so that you can't lose down the road. Like this is whether you keep it forever or you sell this to buy something else that's bigger, it just pushes the envelope for better things.
Mm-hmm.
That was obviously a great move to buy it.
It's a bank account, basically. Another bank
account.
account. It's just going to make you money down the line. You're never going to say in 10 years from now, like, damn, I wish I didn't buy that house.
Yeah, that's a great, no one, great point.
The people that do say that, I mean, do they really mean it? I
Right.
don't know. Maybe they're just miserable.
Yeah, or they just like really
Yeah.
got screwed. Yeah.
Yeah, or that. Yeah, that's true. Now I know you own properties too. So like, how many units you got now? You got
2-family in Manchester, 1 2-family in Manchester, condo in Nashua, and then another 3-family in Manchester. So 6.
6 units.
6.
It's interesting because you went like the reverse way of house
2
hacking.
1 3.
Yeah, it's
Made
like
no sense.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Yeah, so I got the 2 like when I was looking to bought my first one in 2021, and I was looking aggressively. Finally found one where I got a good deal on it. It was a 2-family for $375. two-bedroom units, 2-car garage, and beautifully redone. I didn't have to do a thing to it. Still to this day, I haven't done a thing to it. So I was like, okay, great. Bought that. Lived in it for a year. At the end of that year, it wasn't even a full year. Maybe it was like 10 months. At the end of that 10 months, I was like, okay, I'm going to go buy another multifamily. And that was 2022. 2022 was when inventory started getting like really, really tight. I was looking all day, every single day for a multi. Couldn't find it. And I did not want to stay in the 2-family. So I was like, screw it. I'm going to buy a condo. Bought a condo right next to my office. Literally 5 minutes away from I have an office in Nashville. I can walk there in 5 minutes. And stayed there also for like probably 9 months and was like, okay, let's go back on the multifamily search. So that's when I found Notre Dame. Notre Dame was the same scenario as Manchester Street. Everything was completely redone. I didn't have to do anything to it. And I'm paying a premium for it, knowing with that understanding, like, hey, I'm paying high, but my hope here is I don't have to do anything. Get high rents right away, and just go in. And at the time of buying Manchester Street, the first one was on Manchester Street. Paying $375 for a 2-family was crazy. Like that was high, especially in that area. In 2021. Now you look at it, it's like, yeah, okay, if I was to go sell
like
it,
500, 550,
right?
Yeah.
So not that I think it'll be like that with Notre Dame in the same time frame, but I don't plan on selling it anytime soon.
Yeah, exactly.
Like 10 years down the road, like
you're holding on to it for a while. You're paying the premium for the
I just don't want
10-year headaches down the line, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. So so that's been my buying journey thus far.
Yeah. That's it's interesting though, because everyone has their own way of doing it, you know?
Right.
Like you went 2-1-3. Most people say go 3-3 or however many, or just scale up, just buy the big ones right away. There's so many ways to get into it.
Yeah. The ultimate goal, like, I don't know how long, but I'll probably at some point, like, I want to get just like one big building. And if I have to like sell the ones that I have to do that, I would do that. I don't know when that'll be, but the hope is just to get like 10 to like 16 unit at some point. And like the money that is growing through appreciation in these, take it, sell it, take it, and go buy that. But it all depends on things go. But the ultimate goal is to continue to get units, like greater than the real estate sales at this point. Because at year 7, it's not as exciting as year 1, 2, and 3.
It's definitely not exciting.
Yeah. The focus starts going, okay, like how can I prepare to maneuver out of this?
An exit strategy. Yeah. And I'm kind of pivoting there too. Like I want to start looking for my next one. So I'm like planning, all right, where is it? You know, I'm actually calling people again. I'm like, you want to sell it to me?
That's how you found this one, right?
Yeah. Cold called.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It was bizarre. They basically told me to fuck off.
Actually?
Yeah. She's like, I don't know you. I'm not telling you anything.
How'd you get my phone number?
Yeah. And I was like, hey, you know what? I'll send you an email with all my credentials. I sent her, and turns out she worked for the police station, and she looked me up. She did a full background check on me.
No shit.
Yeah. And she just saw it. She's like, you look like a good person.
Yeah.
Basically. And then she's like, you can give me a call back.
No kidding. Did she live here?
No. They had it fully rented out. Yeah. She was in here. She was renovating one of the units. And it was like mid-renovation. She's like, yeah, I'm in this unit right now, renovating it. Tenant just moved out. Perfect timing. It was perfect timing.
Is it this unit?
This one, yeah.
No shit, dude.
Yep. So it worked out.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Divine timing at its finest.
Cold calling. It's all about timing, you know?
Yeah.
So, so what is your goals besides getting more units? What are your life goals?
I don't know, man. Like,
what's Salah doing in 5 to 10 years?
5 to 10 years, maybe be settled down, be married, hopefully have some kids at that point. So like outside of real estate work life, have that going on. I don't know, man. Like I've never been one to plan too far ahead. Like I have these things in my heart where I'm like, okay, I know I want this, and part of it's the starting a family, the kids, the being married, and then having the units and the lifestyle that I imagine I work career wise. So definitely five. I would say within the next 5 to 7 years, have that be present in my life. And it's again, what's challenging with what we do for our career, it takes up a lot of mind space, where like when you wake up in the morning or when you're planning for stuff, it's hard to plan for other things besides the real estate stuff.
Mm,
So part of the big reason why I wanted to just like gravitate out of it, not in the near future, so I could start thinking about other aspects of life more.
yeah,
Because this has consumed my life for a long time.
I know. It's crazy how much it does.
Yeah.
It does more than you would think.
Yeah.
But it's like the cost to be in the top percent of them, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's why the average doesn't do that many.
Exactly.
Because in order to get to that point, you do give up headspace, you give up your time. And that's one thing I've tried wrapping my head around. Like, how do I get out of that? You know, like how do I set something up? How do I set a life up outside of this? Like, what hobbies are you doing outside of work?
Right.
Besides working? You got any hobbies?
Me?
Yeah.
Dude, all I do, if I'm not working, I'll play basketball with the buddies.
Yeah.
I'll go to Haverhill. I still hang out with my Haverhill friends.
I was just down there yesterday.
No kidding.
Yeah.
You went to Tacos Lupita.
Yeah.
Tacos Lupita is a trademark in Haverhill. Like, there's not a single person in Haverhill,
You
Massachusetts.
can tell there's always a line out the door.
There's not a single person that you go to and you say, "Hey, you ever heard Tacos Lupita?" And they say no. Like, everyone goes there. Like, during lunch, people would leave in high school. People would leave lunchtime and go to Tacos Lupita to get lunch. Like, it's just like a trademark. So yeah, I still hang out with my Haverhill buddies. I hang out with friends. I play basketball. I like to chill sometimes. I'll grab a couple drinks, whatever it is. So I keep it balanced. Like, when I gotta work, I work. When I want to kick back, I kick back. In the last like year and a half, I've been doing a lot more traveling than I've ever done before. Family's from Morocco. Most to all of my family's in Morocco still. So I've made quite a few trips there in the last year. Get family in France. So like this last year, I've done that more often. I visited them. So I want to do more of that too as time goes on.
That's cool. I want to start traveling more too, man.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It takes you away from the everyday stuff that we do. And
now, were you working at all out there though? You still were, right?
I have to, yeah. Like there's deals under contract. There's buyers looking that want to submit an offer. So yeah, you're not fully unplugged, but you could at least try to be.
Yeah, you're at least like working in a better environment.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's like when I went to Florida, I was actually writing up an offer on the beach.
Yeah,
because I just like had to.
It feels better writing it up at the beach than it does at the office.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like sitting in the sun. All right, I can't complain.
Right. Yeah. No. Exactly. 100%.
Yeah, but I've been trying to find that balance too. Get some more hobbies going.
What's your thing? You do flag football.
Flag football. Yeah, that is my one time that I actually unplug for a solid hour.
Right. Because like not think about anything.
I don't think about anything but flag football. It's like I go there and I'm just like, this is sick. Because it's like gets my juices flowing. I'm a little bit competitive when it comes to stuff like that.
For sure.
But it's like, dude, you're just I'm around all the boys. Like we're all just having a time, enjoying like the same thing.
Yeah.
It's great.
Do you chirp people when you play football, flag football? Like, are you a shit talker?
You would have to really piss me off. Okay, and everyone in the sportsplex, they tell you to, because they have their podcast. Like it's crazy to think that a local flag community has their own podcast, but they do. And they do weekly reviews. Shout out Tambo Time. They do like weekly reviews of the team and everything. And they said on there that I was one of the top 5 nicest people in the sportsplex.
No,
yeah. Okay. So I was one of the nicest guys in the league. They're like, if you were to have, they were just ranking categories basically, and I was on there. I was like, all right, I'll take it.
If someone ever has a scuffle with you, it's definitely their fault. Like,
yeah,
you're not
100%, 100%. Yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah. Man. But like I've gotten mad at the refs a couple times. Give them a little bit of love. It's like,
it's
you got it. Yeah. But yeah, I got flag football, the gym, trying to stay committed to that. Thinking about doing boxing. Gonna start doing boxing.
Title?
Yeah. Burgess.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know that one, but
it's in Manch.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Boxing's cool, dude. And also super trendy lately.
Mm-hmm. I more so want it just for the cardio.
Yeah, it is a shit ton of cardio.
Like, yeah, like I like the training aspect of it, and I want something to work towards, you know? Because it's like I'm always working towards work, and I don't know what I'm working towards for that sometimes because it's so crazy. You know? Like when you got 1 million deals under contract, it's tough to think about other stuff.
100%.
And like when I was in high school playing football, working out was the best thing ever because I was working towards being a better football player all the time. And I kind of lost that. But I still had like the drive. That's why I go to the gym. But the gym's become a routine. So I'm like, I need something that's going to get me working towards something again.
Right.
You know?
Where like, yeah, you have like this vision of, okay, one, like a checkpoints almost.
Yeah.
Like I want to get to this check.
Yeah. Like another little goal to keep me going.
Right. Yeah, that's a cool way to do it, dude. It keeps one excited.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta stay excited in this.
You do. Yeah.
Let me ask you this: was there ever was there ever a moment in the real estate sales business where you're like, dude, screw this? And if you did have it, what got you through it?
Yeah, pretty regularly.
Well, actually, this morning.
Yeah. Nah, I think
everyone has it in this business, and I always get curious.
So there
for those
was
that do well and stick through it.
Yeah. So there was one of my transactions was the hardest thing I've ever went through. It was so stressful, and I feel like I lost a couple of years of my life doing that. Yeah. It was a buy and sell, both sides. But it was just roof failed. Roof was basically leaking. Septic failed completely, had to be replaced. The appraiser found out about it, and then it didn't appraise. We had to wait for that. It was a mess. Like everything that could go wrong in a deal went wrong. Out of my control.
Right.
But dude, that humbled me. I was like, I don't know, man. I was like, is it worth it? Is it worth it to like go through this type of stuff?
Right.
Because the mental toll it takes on you. That's the part I think about, the mental toll. And another thing that gets me is you go and meet a new person and they almost don't like respect you as a person.
Right.
Because we have to almost be chameleons and talk to these people. But if you're going to meet a new person and they're just like treating you like dirt, it's like, why do I do this? Why? Like, I'm taking time out of my day to be a genuine person for you, but you can't be for me.
Right.
So, because I like when I meet someone and they reciprocate the energy back.
100%.
And when you get that one person that's just sour, it makes you question the industry because it's like, why do I do this? You know?
100%. It's it's the tough part with being salespeople is that we have bad days. Yeah. We have frustrating moments, but when we meet a prospect, we kind of mask it and we're like, all right, let's keep it cool. Let's like build this connection. And sometimes they can't see, okay, even they see us as salespeople and they're just like, you know what, screw them. They could be dicks. Mm-hmm. Not realizing, hey, dude, we're just regular people. Sometimes we got shit going on too. Yeah. So like you being a dick right now isn't really necessary.
Yeah, it's not helping me right now because I'm having a shit day already.
Exactly. I got a failed septic and a fucking shitty roof. Like just answer the phone.
Yeah. You just got to put a face on,
Yeah.
So, I mean, what got me through, what gets me through those days though, is when when I'm working with someone that I care about, like you have those clients where you're like, I really vibe with them. Like I really am rooting for you guys and like you're happy for their purchase. It's
for sure. You want them to win.
And usually that's most of them, but there are some that you got to kind of drag through it. And like they're making it hard for you to bring them to the closing table,
Oh, 100%.
But there's some, and it's just like you just love conversating with them. It's like great.
Yeah,
that's what gets me through it. And then I remind myself that I'm in this for the I say flexibility lightly,
right?
But the flexibility,
right?
Because like there's nothing else you could be doing and making $250,000 just like that,
No.
Or like we could bust our ass and make $250,000, $500,000 maybe. Right. There's nothing else you could do it and still have the time to be like, hey, can you go pick up this at the grocery store right now? It's like, yeah, sure.
100%. Hey, dude, boys want to get together, play flag football randomly tonight. Could you come? Yeah, I can make it work.
Yeah, exactly. Versus like, oh, I got to work third shift, man. I can't.
Don't even ask. Can't do it.
Yep.
Right.
It's like clocking in and out. You just
it's the beauty of it.
Yeah, it's the beauty of it. Because like I like it because it's like if my mom's like, hey, can you pick up Isaac, my brother from school? It's like, yeah, sure.
Right.
I couldn't do that if I was working a 9 to 5.
100%.
Just be like, nope.
Right. Yeah. Also, the 9 to 5 puts a ceiling on what you could dream about for a while. Like you can't say, okay, at my 9 to 5 next year I'm gonna have a killer year. Mm-hmm. Like it's gonna, what it's gonna be. It's predictable, and there's no amount of effort you could do to change it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And there's pros and cons to it. You know, having a 9 to 5 is nice because, like we said at the beginning, you can clock out.
Yeah.
You can stop thinking about it.
No matter how shitty your week is, you know you're gonna get paid.
Mm-hmm. But like, I don't know. There is pros and cons to real estate, but like seeing people like you in the industry keeps me in it.
I appreciate that.
And I mean that.
I appreciate that.
Because like I know there is genuine people out there, and there's other realtors that I really do enjoy talking to, and like who we wouldn't have probably ever met if I wasn't a realtor, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Like you were saying, just brushing shoulders with all the right people. Like I like the people that are in the industry because it's not only other realtors, but there's other just entrepreneurs around you
100%.
all the time. And I just like talking to other people that have the same mindset, that have the same goals, and you know, they're self-aware and they know where they want to be.
Right.
Yeah.
No, 100%. I'm super critical sometimes of the real estate sales business just because of just certain philosophies agents have. But like I also realize like my closest friends to this day or right now come from me being a real estate agent. Like I've met some of the most closest people in my life. I've built relationships that I would never change. I've especially like because I got into it really young. Like I was 18.
Mm-hmm.
It really like helped me realize or grow or mature at a young age. So there's a lot of great things about it that can help you develop to be a great not just person but business person, and the relationships can be very valuable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree completely. And we're not bashing the real estate industry to scare people, but you know, it's got its pros and cons.
100%. Just like anything.
But it's made us who we are, you know?
Gotta love it.
We're much tougher now. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
What advice would you give to someone considering real estate or getting into a real estate career like yourself?
Brand new?
Yeah.
Like
I'm thinking about becoming a realtor. What do you think?
I would say that's cool. That's awesome. You should do it because to this day, I don't just say it because I'm in it. I don't know of any other career where you can just go spend a few $100, get a license, and the moment you have your license, you have an unlimited potential, like genuinely unlimited potential of how much you can make. And what you make is a direct reflection of your efforts in it. So for that reason, I would say do it. But I would also say it's not as shiny as it looks. It's not as fun as it looks, and you need to have some really thick skin and be able to persevere. Like we went to press that not that long ago. I actually made a story about this recently. Like anytime you see somebody in real estate sales that does well, that's selling 15, 20, 25, 30, 50 homes plus a year, you need to realize at some point that person sucked and they tried really hard every day and sold nothing for months, maybe years. But they continued and they woke up every day, kept going to the office, kept pushing. Yeah. And now you see them selling that many homes and making all that money. There was a time that they did not. So you have to persevere. You have to be patient. There's some that come in and have like immediate success. But that's just not the way that it always is. It's an anomaly. So I would say do it, but be patient and don't have this false expectation that you're just going to make bank right out the gate.
Yeah. It's a slow start. Definitely. But I think that's great advice. You got to tell them both sides of it and be honest with them.
Yeah. I will also say have an exit plan.
Yeah.
Like when you get in and things start grooving.
And no one ever told me that.
You got to have it.
You know?
And not bashing it at all.
Yeah.
And like,
but you got to think retirement too, you know? Because health insurance, your retirement plan, you got to plan for that stuff still when you're in this type of industry or you're an entrepreneur in general, self-employed.
100%.
You know?
Joe and I, we have a podcast, and on our first episode, we talked about this, and some people got upset, and it's not meant to like be like mean or put down at all, but you don't want to get into it, not plan an exit, and then you're 40, 50, 60, still in real estate sales. And if you love it, great. Stay in it, stay until the day you go if you love it. That's awesome. Hats off to you. But if you don't love it and you're just doing it because you need the next commission check, then you didn't have a good plan to get out of it. Because you don't want to be 50. You know, someone calls you on a Friday night, hey, I need you to set up a showing for me on Saturday. You don't want that to always be a thing in your life.
Yeah.
Unless you absolutely adore this job. And if you do, hats off to you, do it forever. But most people don't.
Yeah.
and they don't want to do it for that long. So just as you make your money, as you have a commission check, be mindful and strategic of how am I going to use this money so that I don't have to do this all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I think that's smart. People are really bashing you for that.
Oh yeah. I'm so. Oh,
Yeah.
what do you mean? I've been doing this for 30 years and I love it. Are you saying that I made a mistake? No. Like
Yeah.
if you love it, like God bless you.
Yeah, then that's okay.
I'm talking about folks who do it for 30, 40 years not because they love it, but because they have to.
They have to. Yeah.
Like that's where it's like, damn, like, you should,
Yeah.
if you're in that position, it doesn't matter. Like, you're getting by, you're fine, but you never want to be in a place that you don't want to be.
Mhm.
So think about it so you don't have to be in that spot.
Yeah.
That's the point of what we were saying.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
Now, what other topics do you feel like I didn't touch on that you wanted to mention? You got any questions for me?
Yeah, dude. Actually, you know what? I do have a question for you. What is it that made you in the very beginning think, okay, I want to go on this pursuit of wealth building and all that? Because it is an anomaly. Yeah, we're around it all the time, so it feels normal, but for the most part, it's not normal. What was it that we like, I gotta do this? You watch Meet Kevin at 18 and look at stocks and look at real estate stuff. Like,
yeah, there was obviously more that went into it. It was more so just like my upbringing as a kid. Like, there was always financial struggles growing up, and that was the hardest part for me. Is, I moved like 12, 13 times when I was a kid, and that was a lot going all over the place. And I could go on and on talking about it, but it was, to keep it short, it was just, the money was always an issue, and I knew I needed to build something bigger than myself so that I could help the people that I saw that were impacted from those decisions. Like my siblings, my mom, my dad, just like I saw the struggle they went through, so I want to do something so that's bigger than me, so they don't have to. Like,
right.
It's like you want to work so hard so that you can buy your parents a house,
Exactly.
like that type of thing. So it was that was the driver. I had to grow up at a young age, and I knew I needed to do something. And I saw those videos, and I was like, the 1% are buying real estate. The 1% are in real estate. And I felt like if I put myself in the right rooms, I was going to make something out of it. And it's funny. I tell people, I'm like, I get like social anxiety sometimes. And it's like, I feel like I'm an introvert sometimes. And then they're like,
see that.
no, you're not. No. But like, dude, like maybe it's just because I was like, I was an introverted guy. But I was an introvert when I was in a relationship more so, because it was like, it's the role I had to play, know? But like when I opened up more, and I was like, I have so much to say, so much more to say, you know?
Right.
And it really opened things up. But yeah, it was, I didn't think, I didn't think that I was capable of being in those rooms. I kind of doubted myself a lot. But I knew if I did it, I was going to be like, something's got to come out of this,
Right.
And then I got to the point where it's like necessity. It's like, I need to make something work.
Right. Blind faith.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
So, yeah.
Yeah, the environment thing always has a big role in the thinking as we develop. So that's cool. It sounds like that's exactly what it was.
Yeah, 100%. Now I got one more question for you. It's a question that the past guest leaves, and they said, share a pivotal moment or experience that significantly shaped the outlook on life for you.
Oh, that's a good one.
It is a good one.
Who asked that? Who said that?
Jacob.
Good for Jacob.
He's actually one of my clients. He bought a multi. Smart man.
No kidding.
Yeah, he's a financial advisor. Good guy.
Okay, nice. Good for you, Jacob, for thinking of that question. A pivotal moment that shaped. It's like a bunch of them. I don't know about if this was a pivotal moment, but I do think this was probably one of the best advice I got when I was young, when I was in high school, I was a punk, dude. Like I was not the same person that I am today. I
Mm.
thought that I was cool. I thought I was like a gangster. I thought all these things. Like I just you'd see me then and see me now. I was just not the same person. It was probably like the friends I hung out with and all that stuff. But I just got in trouble a lot in school, and I talked back to teachers a lot. Like I'd go to class late. You know, at that time, I partook in extracurricular activities such as smoking, and I would always go to class and school a certain way. So I was just a goofball, and I probably didn't treat people the best way as far as like teachers and authority. And I had this gym teacher that I always gone to spats with, and I go to his class late one day and he's like, "Where's your hall pass?" And I said some kind of smart remark of like, "Screw you" or whatever, like I don't have it, and he kicked me out. And then later that day, I got sent to in-house detention for the day in school, and I was leaving school and I saw him in the hallway. And I remember I stopped and I talked to him. I was like, "Hey, Mister, whatever, I feel like you don't like me." And he was like, "Salah, I don't like you." He was like, "But one thing is, I always respect you. And you need to realize in life, you're going to come across millions of people until like for in your lifetime. And you're not going to like all of them, but you have to respect everybody. You have to treat everyone with respect. Even though I don't like you, I'm not going
Wow.
to talk to you the way that you talk to me." And like, I don't know what it was and I don't know why, but in that moment he said it, I looked at him and it made me feel really bad at how I behaved, not just with him, but like in
Yeah.
other scenarios. And it really changed the way that I conducted myself and handled myself with people. Um,
That's a powerful statement.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
That's
was like, dude,
good.
and like, yeah, obviously, he didn't like. If I was him, I wouldn't have liked me either. The way that I
Yeah.
acted, he was like, yeah, I don't, but I always treat you with respect. And like,
Mhm.
you just when you come across people, you need to have that in your mind.
Yeah.
Treat this person with respect. So yeah, that was I don't
You've
know.
really come around.
Oh, dude, yeah.
I applaud you for that.
Like,
Yeah.
I would have no clients, dude, if
Yeah,
I
you would
did.
have no clients.
I'd be, yeah. So that was definitely a piece of advice that just stuck with me forever. Like there's probably been plenty of times, and everyone has this, where someone said something to you as advice and you forgot about it. That
Mhm.
was one where I just never forgot.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Is it my part where I leave a question for the next guest?
I'll have you write it.
I'll write it
Yeah.
down. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I'm gonna think of a good one.
Yeah. But I'll let you shout yourself out a little bit. Where can people follow you on socials
Yeah.
and stuff like that?
Real estate page is Amrani Fine Homes. My personal page is Salah Amrani 1. I'm not a big social guy. Like I'm not a big content guy, but if you want to see some new listings that I get or something like that, you could look
Yeah.
at it there. That's it. If you ever have a question, just like personal life, thinking about getting into real estate, or just life advice, you can always reach out. I like chopping it up with people.
Cool. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you chopping it up with me.
Thanks, man. Appreciate being here.
Thanks for coming on.
Cool, dude.